Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The first thing I want to tell you is to remind you why we're here. And that this recitation of the word that we have just finished, it comes from a lineage of people that every time I just look at their names, it just makes me shiver. And I was just reading recently one of our shaykhs, and they said that they all come from Sidi Ali al-Jamal. We are here because of Sidi Ali al-Jamal. He was the sheikh of Sheikh Darkawi. He is the author of the book, The Meaning of Man. An extraordinary book, on all accounts. The more you read it, the more extraordinary it began. That this man, 180 years ago, in Fez, could write this book. And after writing the book, he refused to teach. And he gathered himself in Fez. He was totally on his own until Sheikh Darkawi arrived. And then from him came Sidi Ahmed al-Badawi, Sidi Muhammad al-Arabi, Sheikh Arabi al-Anwaf, Sidi Muhammad bin Ali, Sheikh Noghabir, Sheikh al-Kara. This word comes from Sheikh Noghabir, and this is the lineage of the teachers. What they meant to give us is knowledge about a matter that is the most important in the world, which is knowledge of Allah, Marifat. So we are here to sit down, to talk about Allah. And you have chosen to be here rather than being somewhere else. It's because you are thirsty, because you want to know more. Our Shuyukh said, recite and do dhikr, because that's knowledge in itself. So when you sit down and together and you mention the name of Allah, you are already acquiring knowledge. Because knowledge isn't remembering Him. So if you have nothing else, mention His name and you benefit from it. And wherever you look, the face of Allah, and you benefit from it. And the more you do it, the more you realize. And the more you get into it, the more of it you want. Today I wanted to talk to you about Nusantara and the future of Nusantara. And what muamalat and the restoration of muamalat can be for the people of Nusantara. We know some things. We have undertaken a task that many sounded like completely impossible. We decided to bring forward what had been lost regarding the questions of money as a symbol of what muamalat is in its entirety. So we decided to bring the gold dinar. Those who were there in the beginning, you know how difficult it seemed at the time, and how many people ridicule our effort, and they said, not a chance. And there are still some people who say that. But today we can say things we couldn't say earlier. And you know now that after the effort we did with the government of Kelantan, now the Sultan of Kelantan is going to start meeting. And with the Sultan of Kelantan, the payment of zakat will be done. And with the payment of zakat, with dinar and dirham, darura is over. And then we can teach people that darura is over. That we do not have to submit to a system that is insane and irrational and it doesn't work. That to continue in a system that doesn't work is madness itself. And what has driven us to madness? desperation, lack of hope, that there is nowhere else, that nothing can be changed. Precisely the things that they were telling us. And we come here to tell them, no, there is hope. And where's the hope? The hope is in Allah. Follow Him. Follow Him. Do what He's asking you to do. Follow His commands. Even if you do not understand. Particularly when you do not understand. When you do not understand, when you find yourself in difficulties, is where you have to put the effort. It's precisely where most needed, most need is help. Most need is required. But now it's not only the Sultan of Kelantan. We have dug out in the history, and we have come to Indonesia, and through the good work of Saim Saidi and Sidi Omar Osman, we have come close to two of the historical sultans in Indonesia. The Sultan of Cirebon and the Sultan of Ternate, and soon the Sultan of Kutai. And they represent an association of sultans. And they will all make the golden era. The Sultan of Cirebon wants to do it, and the Sultan of Ternate wants to do it. They will all do it. And in Sulu, the Sultan of Sulu wants to bring the golden era. And we will bring them together. And our task is to bring all of them together. The Sultan of Kedah, too. We are approaching him. And he will do it. And then we put them together. A new horizon will appear. Now, what is important here is not how the things unfold, but much more valuable is how you benefit from this affair. The benefit of this is not that the golden era is going to be established in Indonesia and Nusantara. That's only a small benefit. The big benefit is that you become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you acquire knowledge, that in a time of difficulty and doubt, that you decided to move, that you came closer to Him. In other words, that you acquire knowledge of Him. And this knowledge of Him, that is your real benefit. That's what you take with you. That's what stays with you, and it will never leave you. But why is that we look at the world and we see it so differently? The Sufis have said, the world is a mirror of yourself. It's a mirror of yourself. What you see out there is what you see here. You see difficulties there. They are your difficulties. Because if you ask somebody else, they will tell you a different set of difficulties. And you ask a third person, and he will give you another set of difficulties. And a fourth person, a different one. Completely different. But they are looking at the same reality. And all they are seeing is themselves. So if you want to deal with it, you have to deal with yourself. Look, it has taken the world of scientists, the 20th century, to arrive to the greatest of all physics and scientists in history, which was Heisenberg, not Einstein, but Heisenberg. He was the greatest one. He is the one who is known for his theory of the indetermination. But what he really discovered is that the world of the observed and the world of the observer, they are intertwined. He realized that matter, the very essence of physics, is only there when you observe it. that if you do not observe, it's not there. That matter is not a thing, but it's a tendency. That's extraordinary. Extraordinary thing. So in other words, is without you there observing, this thing doesn't behave the way it does. That it has appearance to you only because you are there. And you are there in the form you are there. In other words, we have the sensation of something physical out there. But in fact, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. So if I bombard you with an atom that will go past through you, an electron will go past through you like you do not exist. We're in fact all the time bombarded by these sort of things. And now they're saying that we live in a field of energy. We are looking for energy, but in fact we are nothing but energy. If you look for it, you will find it there. Yeah, imagine if at the world of the physics we can say such thing. If somebody can come with a conclusion that there's actually not matter, but only when you look into it. Just imagine if you look a little bit farther into the matters of your life and you discover that the world is a mirror of yourself. That the things appear to you when you look at them. That you want to see difficulties, you find difficulties. That when you want to find easiness, you find easiness. That in the difficulty there is easiness. That there is easiness in the difficulty. That Allah tests you in manners that they benefit you only if you understand. فَأَمَّا مَنْ أَتَّى وَأَتَّقَى وَصَدَقَ بِالْحُسْنَى فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ لِلْيُسْرَى وَأَمَّا مَنْ بَخِلَ وَاسْتَغْنَى وَكَذَّبَ بِالْحُسْنَى فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ لِلْعُسْرَى. It's something so extraordinary in this ayat. And then you have a set of what happens to you, how you encounter the world in terms of easiness and difficulties that entirely relates to you. Your generosity, how do you see the goodness of Allah? That is what makes things difficult or easy for you. So it's a completely different way of looking at this. So we looked at Nusantara and we saw the gold dinar being used. We saw it and it appeared. We put it in our heart and it appeared. And if we put it a little bit harder, it appeared a little bit more. And then we said, we want to bring the sultans. And we looked into it. And we found them. They were there. And Sultania was there. But if we don't look into it, it doesn't exist. And that's what the heart does. And that's why the Sufis say, be careful what you put into your heart. Because if you put into your heart the wrong thing will come to you. If you put the good thing will come to you. But not look at it from the profit that you can obtain from this. Just look at how much you can change things. If you understand that, you will never be changed in the world, but you will be changed in yourself. And then by that change that you do in yourself, you look at the world and it appears differently. And it's the same world, and it was always there. The tendency was there, but you just make it happen. And through your light, then other people can see. But then what is the light here? The light is from Allah and no other source. So, the knowledge that is valid, that is useful, that is practical, that it will help you, that knowledge is from Islam and nowhere else. There's not two deen, there's only one deen. And Allah has spoken very clear on this matter. Only Allah, only Islam is accepted by Him. So Islam is the clue. So we do not take Islam as it was a jacket that you put on and off. But it is the camel with which you ride forward. You live in it. You do not disassociate from it, but you thrive in it. You move with it. And it takes further and further and further in knowledge about yourself. Because each piece of the Sharia will give you clues. It will force you to look in a particular manner to the world. It will give you commands of things that you say you cannot do. And you force yourself in doing it. And this is how you advance. But if you look into the world with a naked eye, you would not find anything. You will only find the result of your own culture, what the culture is saying. And your culture is saying there's a constitution and a central bank, and there's taxes, and there's this and the other and the other and the other and the other. And that's what you will see. You will see nothing else. But if you discover that you can go into the meaning of things, that you can look differently, that you can change these affairs by the way you look into yourself, and if you change yourself, you can change that, then you have discovered something extraordinary, absolutely, totally awesome. A way of changing things by means you have never thought of before. That's the power of the heart, and that is with you. We can bring the sultans, yes, because this man decided, yes, it is there. I want to bring it forward. And it's only property. We want to bring muamalat, and it's not there. But when you look into it, then suddenly everything is there.